Hey everybody, I'm Everything Janice, and my girlfriend asked me this question the other day. But whoa, let's talk about that for a minute. She asked me if I was hard to break up with, and initially I got offended. I got offended because I'm thinking and wondering, like, are you planning on breaking up with me? You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking about what it was that, I was thinking about her intentions, her plans with me. And so I was a little bit thrown off, but I decided to let my guard down a little bit and really listen to the words that she was asking me. And now that I have kind of dug deep into my lifestyle and my answer to her, I'm not as offended. And I think that it was actually a good question that I needed to hear. I have never actually been asked a question like that. And I really appreciate her for asking. Yes, I am hard to break up with. And I know that I say that with like a half smile on my face, but it's because I'm being honest and I'm being real. I am hard to break up with because of three things: my childhood traumas, the fact that I am loyal to a fault, and also the fact that I am just tired of losing. You see, in my childhood, I am the oldest on both sides of my family. And so I kind of call myself the trial and error child. You know, the child that people kind of learn how to become a parent or an auntie or grandparent on. I am that person. I am the person that people made all their mistakes with, because like my younger siblings and my younger cousins did not nearly and have not nearly gone through as much as I and my like older cousins have gone through. Like, they have such lenient lives. But, I had a very tough childhood. I had a tough childhood for many reasons. And this is not an attempt to kind of like out my parents or their parenting style, but I have a lot of trauma there. I have a lot of trauma because I never felt like I was loved. I have a lot of trauma because there was some abuse there. There was some neglect there. I have serious abandonment issues. I am afraid of not being loved. I am afraid of being left. And so I had to be real with myself. Yes, I'm hard to break up with because I'm used to people essentially wanting to be away, breaking up with me, wanting to be away from me, wanting to not have anything to do with me, or whatever the case may be. I'm used to that, and it started in my childhood. I was used to people kind of writing me off, not because I was a terrible child, not because I didn't do things that children do, right? I wasn't a problem child. Unfortunately, that wasn't okay with the people who raised me, and it wasn't just my parents who raised me. I was kind of bounced around all the time. In fact, I lived in a different household just about every other year, and that in itself is hard, but that's another discussion for another day. I remember, when I would be disciplined, writing letters to myself or writing letters to my parents, asking them, why did they not love me, or how come they couldn't love me? Like, I do not feel like I was liked by my parents. I know what it feels like to be liked by someone now. Even then, I knew what it was like to be liked, knew what it was to be liked by someone, to be loved by someone. And in my opinion, the way that I was treated in my childhood, I was not liked and I was not loved. If I was loved, okay, that's fine. But you know how people can still cheat on you when they love you? That's like an obligatory type of love. It's an obligation. Like, they love you out of obligation, but they don't necessarily like you. And I still kind of try to figure out to this day, like, why wasn't I liked as a child? Like, what was it about me that was unlikable? I just wanted to be loved. That's it. The other reason why I feel like I'm hard to break up with is because I am loyal to a fault. So getting out of my childhood, going into my teenage years and into adulthood, dating has been very, very unstable for me. It's been up and down. I've had some of the most toxic relationships, not just because those people were toxic, but because I was also toxic. I don't really have a real definition of what love is or what it looks like. So it's no surprise that I was displaying those behaviors and qualities and characteristics in those relationships. I have been loyal to people even when they have done me wrong. I have had gaslighters in my life. I have had people who have abused me financially, emotionally, verbally. I'm loyal to people even when they do not deserve me. I'm even that way in friendships and with my family. And it's all because I want to be wanted. I want it to be accepted. I want it to be loved. When I look at it, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that I am so codependent, because that is also a symptom or a sign of codependency. That I will just tolerate anything from anyone just to say that I have anyone in my life. Another reason why I'm hard to break up with is because I am just simply tired of losing. You know, you come to a point in a relationship where you know that this person's not for you. You know, like I had a partner that was a liar, right? Well, a lot of them were liars. I've even been stolen from. You know, trying to put two and two together, and you can't. I've been cheated on I don't know how many times. And it was always this thing of them going back to an ex. That's why I got a problem with exes now. I'm a little traumatized. But I knew I shouldn't have been with those people, but I just simply could not leave. And I didn't want them to leave me. And when they tried to leave me, I tried to stay with them. I wanted them to keep me, because I was tired of losing. At those points in my life, it was just better to stay than it was to lose again. And it always felt like a loss to me. Like now sitting here, I know for a fact that it wasn't a loss. Those are lessons. Those people were supposed to come in my life to teach me a few things, and they were supposed to allow me to be on a path to better, to the person who is actually for me. But in those moments, they felt like losses, and I was simply tired of losing, because relationships aren't the only thing that I've lost. I've lost apartments, I've lost cars, I've lost my mind. So in my past, when people have tried to break up with me, I've broken up with a few people, but people have tried to break up with me. And I've done things that I'm not proud of. I have begged and pleaded and cried and boo-hooed. I've written letters. I've showed up to their place of work. I have printed out pictures. I've made videos. I've made collages. I've talked to parents. I've talked to their parents. I've talked to exes. I have done so much to avoid being broken up with. And it's embarrassing. It actually is very, very embarrassing. I don't like to look over my dating history and be embarrassed, but the truth of the matter is, out of my embarrassment has come my acknowledgement, my growth, and my healing. So I'm okay with it at that point. In my past, people have tried to break up with me, and I simply did not allow it. And it took a long time. Like, it took for some people to even cut me off cold turkey. This is kind of besides the point, but a friend and I were talking the other day, and even though this sounds really shallow and really vain, hear me out when I say this. I told her, I said, we have issues letting these people go as if we are ugly. That is a nasty word, first of all. I was a little tipsy when I said it. That's a nasty word. I don't like that word. But my point in saying that was, what I really wanted to say was, I didn't know my worth. What I really wanted to say is that I am worth so much more than those people were willing to give me in the first place, that I didn't recognize that. And so I felt like they were the prize, when in fact I was actually the prize. I am worth more than I have allowed myself to understand. So to do a little recap, my answer to my girlfriend was yes, I'm hard to break up with. No, I was hard to break up with. But as I've been going through my healing process, as I have been going through my growth and, trauma work, I feel, and I hope that I never have to exercise what I've learned, But I don't feel like I will be hard to break up with in the future because I know my worth, because I know who I am. I know the type of power that I possess. I know what I offer, what I bring to the table. So if you feel like you are always the person being broken up with and you just cannot let people go, there are probably so many issues that you probably need to consider in your life, which are abandonment issues, issues with abuse, issue with parents, issue in past relationships when it comes to cheating and infidelities and lies and different things like that. Because I have done so much of that work this year alone. I have done so much work with my healing and my growth. And I never want anyone else to be able to say, Janice just wouldn't let go. Janice just couldn't, Janice was so obsessed with me. It wasn't that. So a message to my past, none of you, absolutely none of you were worth the efforts that I put forth to get you back in my life. You weren't meant for me. You're not meant for me. My issue was me. My issue was my traumas. My issues were the things that I've gone through in my life. And you just happened to get a little piece of what it was like being me. But as I continue to work and as I continue to grow, I am very grateful for the process that I've been going through. But that's pretty much it. So ask yourself, are you hard to break up with? And if you are, and I'm not asking you to plan for a breakup, I'm not asking you, but it is a part of life sometimes. Sometimes things will end, sometimes relationships will end, just like jobs will end, just like, school careers may end before you complete them. Whatever it is, things will end. And so you have to ask yourself, essentially what you're asking yourself is it hard for me to let go? Is it hard for me to let things be what they are? Is it hard for me to do I know my worth? Do I know my worth, and do I know what I deserve? My answer is yes. I know what I'm worth and I know what I deserve. And no longer will I be hard to break up with. Hey you guys, I'm Everything Janice. Please go ahead and click subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions, please let me know. I would love to hear them. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.